All right, viewers, good afternoon from wheresoever you are following us from. We are welcome again into our another episode, where in this one we are going to be looking at the Bill of Rights that was put in place in the year 1689. The Bill of Rights, it was just a body of laws which met in what was called a conventional parliament. We call it a conventional parliament because it was not summoned by the king. At the time the Bill of Rights was put in place, there was no king. James escapes to France. So we call the Bill of Rights that was met by the body of law, a conventional parliament, and they came out with some terms that were to be given to the new leader on how he was going to rule England. Who was the new leader? Here we are talking about William of Orange from Netherlands and the wife Mary, and the wife was the first daughter of James II. So, according to the Bill of Rights, there were some terms that were drafted and given to these new leaders on how they were going to rule the throne. So we are going to look at the terms of the Bill of Rights, how the Bill of Rights asks the king, or how it limited the powers of the monarch. The first point we are going to look was that the king was not to use suspending or dispensing powers. We have looked at a situation whereby James had believed in the divine right of king, that he was obeyed by God to rule the people of England, and so nobody should question his authority. And because of that, James started using two types of powers: suspending powers and dispensing powers. These two powers that James was using, it suppresses other organs in England. For example, James has to dispense with acts that were passed in parliament. Dispense means he ignored the acts that were passed in parliament, like the Test Act of 1673, where James ignored it and appointed Sir Edward Hayes as a commission office in the British Army. As well as he was dispensing with act, he also suspended some act. For example, in July 1687, we saw James suspending the parliament. So the Bill of Rights came in and reduced the powers of king, reduced the executive powers of the king, where he was not going to use suspending powers or dispensing powers. That was the first term, the first condition in the Bill of Rights. The second one, we talk about parliament was supreme over the king. The Bill of Rights came and make it clear he had to solve the power tussle that over the years it has existed in England between the parliament and the executive, the king. At the end of the revolution, it was stated clearly that the parliament was above the king. So it solved the power tussle over power supremacy between the British parliament and the king, and the parliament was now above the king. The next term of the Bill of Rights, it talked about no standing army. The Bill of Rights also stipulated that the leader was not supposed to create a standing army in time of peace, as it was with the case of James II, who came and created a standing army in time of peace in England of 30,000 soldiers that he used to brutalize and tyrant the people of England. So the Bill of Rights was against the creation of a standing army in time of peace in England. Another term of the Bill of Rights, we talk about the bill. The king, was not to impose taxes on the citizens. The people of England in the Bill of Rights, or the body of law, make it clear that as the king was coming to power, he was not going to levy much taxes on the people of England, so as to use these taxes to maintain a standing army, neither to use it and run the palace. So if they came to put what was called the civil list, the civil list was put in place. The civil list, it was a list that shows the annual income and expenditure of the king, so as to prevent the king from levying much taxes against the people of England. With the putting in place of the civil list, it makes it easier for the king to frequently summon parliament so as to discuss on it the budget of the palace. So the king was no longer supposed to levy high or impose high taxes on the people of England according to the Bill of Rights. We move further to look at another term of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights guarantees the freedom and the liberty of the English people. According to the Bill of Rights, there was freedom of speech, there was freedom given to the parliament to criticize. The parliament was having that freedom to criticize decisions that were taken by the king and even to petition the king. So the people had freedom according to the Bill of Rights, especially in the parliament, unlike in the situation where the powers of James were supreme over the parliament and the parliament could not petition against him or the parliament could not criticize him, but there was freedom of speech as per the Bill of Rights that was put in place. The last point under, or the last thing we talk about, no Roman Catholic was to succeed the throne, or you can say the Bill of Rights settled the succession problem in England. It made it clear that no Roman Catholic or any person born of a Roman Catholic background was going to succeed the throne in England. And since 1689 that the Bill of Rights was put in place, to date, no Roman Catholic has succeeded the English throne, but rather we have Protestants as per the Bill of Rights. Now, these were some of the terms of the Bill of Rights. We are supposed to look at the criticisms of the Bill of Rights.